Boo, boo, productivity, boo. Hey my friend, it's George Carroll. Welcome to Optimum Performance and Productivity, and I'm guessing you're probably one of three people if you found this page. Maybe you are a career person and you work for a company or a corporation where you have a lot of activities, you have a lot of tasks to manage, you've got a lot of projects that you're managing, and you're wondering, how do I cut the fat and create more in less time? How do I get more done in less time? Because we all have the ultimate equalizer, which is 24 hours in a day. And what we do in those 24 hours will determine our long-term effectiveness and even our short-term effectiveness during the week. And so maybe you're a career person, maybe you're an entrepreneur. If you're an entrepreneur, you know that you write your own paycheck. You get up every single morning, and what you do during that 24 hours, where you spend your time, is going to determine where you're generating more income or not. And I love what Seth Godin says. If you scroll down below, you'll see a Seth Godin quote. Seth Godin talks about how economists understand the correlation between productivity and generating wealth and generating income. Those who are more productive generate more wealth, generate more income. So if you're an entrepreneur, I'm guessing you recognize that correlation between generating more income and becoming more productive, and how one comes with the other. And don't you notice that? Like, look at times in your business, look at times in your career where you've gotten more done in less time, and the correlation of income that gets generated as a result of it. Maybe you are a salesperson in an organization, and as a salesperson, you know that that sales position is kind of a hybrid between being a corporate employee and being an entrepreneur. It's sort of the hybrid. It's the best of both worlds. You know, you get to have the safety and the comfort of having maybe a salary with some commission on it, and you get the freedom of creating your own way, of writing your own ticket and writing your own path and generating more income that way. So I'm guessing you fit into one of those three categories, and if you do, you're in the right place. I'm going to share with you here in a little bit 5 keys plus a bonus key to becoming more productive in your career, in your business, and really in your life. And before we jump into these, the thing that I want to ask you is, how do you feel about productivity? How do you feel about productivity? Because this 3.5 hour training is going to be really focused on changing our mindset as it relates to productivity. Most people won't become more productive because they've got negative associations to productivity. And this is a huge ninja tip. So I teach this optimum performance and productivity model all around the country. And the thing that people most get out of this training is they get more time. I mean, that's what optimum performance and productivity is about. That's a big piece of what optimum performance and productivity is about, is getting your time back. Because how much time do we spend doing the little things that don't even matter? And when I travel around the country and I teach these concepts and these principles and these strategies and tools to corporate employees and entrepreneurs who come in, it's a fascinating thing to see how much time we spend doing insignificant tasks and how much time we lose during that time. So in this video, I'm going to do my best to share with you how you can get more of your time back. And then obviously, if you want to jump in and play the game with me here in this training on March 18th, then you can jump in and do that. And so when you look at the concept of productivity, the thing that we have to recognize is that we are intrinsically, as human beings, we are intrinsically designed to move away from pain and move toward pleasure. We're designed to move away from pain and move toward pleasure. Another reason, or another way to describe that, is we move away from resistance and we move toward alignment. And I think that's an even more accurate way to describe it, because we're always intrinsically looking for our natural state of alignment in any part of our lives, including productivity. And here's where this is so important, and this is a ninja tip that I'm going to give you right away, is that the way you feel about the concept of productivity will determine whether you seek out becoming more productive. Because if you have negative resistance or negative associations to the concept of being more productive, why would you be more productive? If you don't like the idea of productivity, you're going to avoid it, right? Because that's resistance for you. But if you're like me and you geek out on productivity and you love finding all the tiny little ways that you can gain an extra 5 minutes in your day, because you know that 5 minutes over the course of a week ends up being 25 minutes, and over the course of an entire month ends up being 190 minutes or 200 minutes, and you can see that these little things, and that's the key with productivity. It's not about like what's that big, gigantic, humongous tool that I could use, but what are the little things that I can extract from my day? What are the little amounts of time that I can extract from my day that creates a tremendous amount of time in the long run? And that's what this is about. It's about getting precise about how you spend your day, where you spend your time, how you plan your day, how do you manage your energy. And I'm going to give you those top 5 keys plus the bonus key right here, boing, 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 plus the bonus key. So stay with me to the end of this video and really think of this page not only as an invitation page for you to sign up for the training, but also as a resource page. So when you scroll down below, you're going to see some tips and some ideas that I've inserted inside of the page to help you, whether you decide to sign up for this training or not, whether you decide to jump in and become a VIP panel member with me or not. Hopefully this page will give you some tips and some tools so that you can implement immediately. And that's really the thing that I want to share with you. And I got to take a step back and make a disclaimer. I'm not somebody who is a big fan of my system works for everybody. Basically what I'm going to show you and what you're going to learn inside of this training is that my strategies and my system, my optimum performance and productivity model, really has been designed as a result of studying multiple gurus on productivity and performance, and then sort of synthesizing it and creating it in a way that works for me, because I'm well aware that all of us work differently. Our brains work differently. We all operate from a different space and a different place. And the thing that I want to invite you to do is look at anyone that you study in the realm of productivity. Look at all of us buffet style. Like when you go to the buffet, you don't take one of everything at the buffet. Well, maybe you do. I don't know what your eating patterns are like, but you go to the buffet, typically, you just pick what you want, right? You leave the stuff that you don't want. And so as you go through this training, even on March 18th, I'm going to teach you a lot of buffet style strategies, a lot of tips and tools, a lot of nuggets. And the key that I tell people in my corporate environments is that take 1 or 2 things that you can implement into your day consistently. Make that a new habit. And then come back to the training, because you'll get the recording of the training too. Come back to the training, and what's another nugget that I can implement and make a new habit and routine? And that's the thing that we have to recognize, is that your day is comprised of intertwining habits, intertwining patterns of behavior, intertwining sort of rituals or routines, if you will, that create a specific result. And part of that disclaimer is, if what you're doing is working, keep doing it. If you are creating the results that you desire, keep doing it. I'm not one to say my system is going to work for everybody, because it's not. Only you'll know. But one thing that I do know is that if you get one tip from this training that helps you become more productive, that helps you squeeze out an additional 20 minutes a day, wouldn't that be worth it? To have an extra hour in the week, what would you do in that hour? Time is our most precious resource as it relates to productivity, really, and as it relates to life. We all have a specific amount of time here on this planet. Why not make the most of it? And that's why I geek out on productivity, because it's more than just about, okay, let's make a to-do list and let's get these things done today, right? It's more of a philosophy of living. It's more of a way of operating in your life and in your business that allows you to be on fire, moving towards your desires, moving towards your dreams, with an unstoppable momentum, and creating without resistance. So this training is about how do you create more faster? And obviously I'm passionate about it because my love for productivity really came out of my business growing to a place where I'm now managed 4 areas of my business, and I used to just go with the flow. I used to just go with the flow, and eventually I got to a point where going with the flow stopped working. And maybe you're at that point too, where you've gone with the flow for a little while and it's created a certain level of results for you, but maybe you're sort of hitting that ceiling, and it's time to really organize and prioritize your day in a way that allows you to squeeze the most out of the day. And that's what I'm going to attempt to share in this video. And in the training, we're going to go way more in depth on all of these concepts and more. So just a quick heads up, you'll have two options really to jump in the training and play the game with me. Is that the first is you'll be able to just watch and interact that way, and you'll be able to ask questions through our Facebook group. And the second way is that you can totally get in the game with me. Get in the game with me, and you'll be one of the VIP panel members, one of 9 VIP panel members that we interact live together, and you help create the training really with your questions and your insight, and so you'll be able to contribute in the training as well. So you'll be able to see those options below, and I'll share those with you here in a moment. But first, let's get to these top 5 keys to being productive, and let me grab my notes here. All right, so I mean, I could probably list out 800 different keys to productivity. Maybe not that many, but there's a lot of keys to productivity. And I thought, okay, for this video, what information can I offer? What training can I offer just in this quick video? So whether you decide to jump in the training with me and play with us on March 18th or not, you have some tangible things that you can apply into your business, and really more of a concept of how do I look at productivity in a different way. Because again, that first 45 minutes of this training is going to be designed to shift our mindset, to shift our psychology around how we view productivity. Because if we're like, oh, productivity, boo, boo, productivity, boo, then we're not going to find ways. We're not even going to have the desire to want to discover new ways to become more productive and more effective in our day. Does that make sense? Good. Okay, so the first key to becoming more productive, and this is kind of a big picture key, is vision. Vision. The Bible says, without a vision, people perish. And I heard that quote from Tony Robbins years and years back. And as I look at my life, I realize that the times when I was most on fire were the times, and have been the times, when I've been so emotionally and energetically associated to my vision, right? And so whatever your vision is, get connected with that. Because again, if we're not excited about being productive, if we're not like eager, if we don't have that anticipation that like, okay, what are some juicy nuggets that I can learn here right now that will help me be more productive, then we're gonna just kind of sit back and lean back and be like, yeah, that might work, that might not work. But the key that I'm not gonna mention on here that I mentioned earlier is the key is the little things, right? How do you extract 5 minutes from the first half of how do you extract 20 minutes? There was this woman in Burbank, California, and we were going through this process that you're gonna go through in the training called Where's Your Hidden Time? And we discovered 2 hours a day of hidden time that she wasn't aware that she could extract. And I said, 2 hours, so you're telling me, lady, she had a name. I said, lady, you're telling me that 2 hours a day can be extracted. That's 10 hours a week. I'm like, what are you going to do with 10 hours a week? And she got so excited because we got to this place where she realized that she could have 10 hours a week maybe to handle some of those bigger activities, to not be overwhelmed. I mean, what would it be like in your world, in your career, and in your business to not be overwhelmed by all the things that you have to do, feeling like you're under it, you're under this pile of things that you got to do, versus be on top of it, being on top of it and managing it and orchestrating it. Because either we are at cause to our day or we're at effect in our day. And what Optimum Performance and Productivity will teach you how to do is be at cause in your day, right? To totally be at cause in your day versus being at effect to your day. All right, so that's key number 1, is getting super associated to your vision. Like, what is the grand vision for you? What's that grand vision that's going to get you excited, to be more productive? All right, so key number 2 is you got to know why. Like, why is it that you want to be more productive? Why is it that you want to find ways to extract more time out of your day? Because, it's one thing to know that, okay, yeah, I'd like to get more done, or yeah, I'd like to finish these priorities, or oh, yeah, I know I have these tasks to do. Man, if we're not connected to why we want to do something, and we're too focused on the process of doing something, then most cases, we're not going to be excited about the process. So it's kind of like working out. You know, you don't go to the gym or you don't go run or hike or climb or whatever you do to work out. You don't do it because of the process necessarily. You do it because of the outcome that it creates, the health, the vitality, the energy, the health that it gives you as a result of going through the process of working out. In a lot of cases, the working out process can be uncomfortable and painful. And for some of you, you're kind of masochists like that, and I guess you like the pain. For me, I enjoy the process, but I'm doing it mostly because of the outcome and the result that it's given me. So why is it? Why is it that you want to become more productive? Because you do. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a career person, if you're a salesperson in an organization, you want to be more productive. The more you produce, the more you create, the more you deliver, the more output you have, the more income you have, the more time you have. That's why you want to be more productive. And if you don't want to be more productive, then this training probably isn't for you. So get clear on why you want to be more productive. For me, I know that when I organize my day in a very specific manner that you're going to be learning in this training, that I get my evenings and I get my weekends to go adventure, to go explore. Just moved to Portland a couple months ago, and I got so much to explore. So instead of the weekend, instead of like, imagine if I'm going through the week and I'm just kind of like getting things done, getting distracted, coming back, getting distracted, I'm basically creating more work for myself. So I want to use Parkinson's law, which I'm going to share with you here in a moment. I want to use that to my advantage, and I want to get as much done as I can. I want to create more every single day, faster in a smaller amount of time, so that the evening comes and the weekends come and I'm free and I'm not sitting there worrying about, oh my God, I got to get this project done, or oh my God, I got to get this deadline done, or oh my God, I got to create this video. You know, I just get things done fast and in those moments so that I have more time to go out and have an adventure, live the adventure, do the things that I love doing. And there's a certain feeling for me, and you got to check in with what it is for you. And in the training, we're going to dive deep into what is your why. Like, why is it that you want to be more productive? What is it that you get out of being more productive? Not only that, there's a certain satisfaction, and you know what I'm talking about, don't you? There's a certain satisfaction that comes with being super productive. There's a certain satisfaction, a feeling that comes with having that momentum. And that's another thing that you want to consider, is that a lot of people avoid the intensity of that momentum. That momentum of creating quickly has a certain intensity to it, and a lot of people shy away from that. But if you're somebody who loves momentum, who loves the intensity of creating that momentum, then this training is perfect for you. So you want to understand why. Why do you want to be more productive? Why do you want to produce more? Why do you want to operate at higher levels of performance? You got to get clear on what that is for you, and it's different for all of us. And that's key number 2. Key number 3 is, and you know, some of this stuff you've probably heard before, if not all of it. So I'm not going to tell you anything new. The thing that you got to ask yourself is, am I applying what I know? Because you don't know it unless you're applying it into your life. We can know something conceptually, right? We can read a book on swimming, but you don't know how to swim until you jump in the water and try it. And so the question is, if you know these cognitively, my question is, are you applying them? Or are you putting them and integrating them into your life? Step number 3 is you got to plan. You got to plan. And again, these are just 5 keys that I thought of that would be helpful for you on this video, not necessarily the flow that we're going to be going through in the training. You'll be able to read more about that below, about the sections that we're going to go through inside of the training, the workbook that you're going to get inside of the training. You'll also get the recording of the training in case you can't watch and be on the video live. All right, so key number 3 is you got to plan. You know, I think it was Abraham Lincoln that said, if I had 8 hours to cut down a tree, I would spend 6 hours sharpening my axe. And another great quote that came along was, if you're failing to plan, then you're planning to fail. Now, again, let's go back to the disclaimer. If what you're doing is working, if you're going with the flow, or if you're following the energy, or if you're just kind of like, you know, dancing with the rhythm of the day and it's creating the results that you desire, keep doing that. Keep doing that. I'm just sharing with you what works for me and a lot of other people that I work with and that I get to teach and train all around the country. And so planning is the process by which you simply list out all the most important activities that you need to do in a day while being aware of the long-term projects that you have in place. So inside of this training, you're going to get my 1-page fully engaged one sheet. And the biggest reason why people don't plan their day is because they don't have a system to plan it into. Now think about it. How many time management systems are out there these days? Like, we can go to Amazon and type in time management, and how many books are going to show up? How many systems are out there? By now, if there were one system that worked for everybody, we'd all have it. The thing is that our brains work differently. Our brains work uniquely, and I think, personally, my belief is the biggest reason why we don't plan is because we don't have a system to plug our day into that works for us individually. And so I'm going to share with you my fully engaged one sheet, and maybe you already have it from previous trainings, but I'm going to share that with you, and you're going to get that on the training inside of the workbook that you're going to get, and I'm going to show you a way that you can design your own one sheet. Because, man, Einstein said that any idiot can make something complex, but it takes a real genius to simplify things. There are so many time management systems out there, and some of them were just so dang complex. They were so complex, I didn't even start to dig into them because it was too complex. Like, I love simplicity. I love ease. And so I've organized this training in a way that will help you see how you can become more productive without the complexity. So planning is one of those things that if you don't plan, you start to head into your day in a way that allows you to be more susceptible to what I call the ninjas of distraction. The ninjas of distraction are the everyday bombardments of information that come at us. And so inside of the training, you're going to learn what your specific distractions are and ways that you can manage them. We got to get clear on what our distractions are. Okay, so coming back to planning. If you don't plan your day, you're basically going to walk into your day, and the thing that I want to bring to your attention is that if you aren't planned, if you don't know what your highest priority tasks are, if you don't know what tasks and activities are going to bring you the greatest result, what do you think you're going to do first? And in fact, what do you think most people do at the beginning of their day if they don't plan? In all of my corporate trainings, everybody gets it because most people do it. The first thing that they do is they open up their email and they start checking their email. Your email can lead you to Never Never Land. What's Never Never Land? This is how Never Never Land works. So you're sitting there and you're working away, and all of a sudden, boom, you get a notification in an email, and what most people do is they click the notification. The email opens, and then you're all of a sudden, boom, you're over here. You're in an email over here, and then you got a link in there, and then boom, all of a sudden you're over here. You're back here, and you're like on eBay, and you're buying something, and you're like, how the heck did I end up here? And then eventually, a month later comes, and your mail order bride shows up. And so that's Never Never Land. And if you are somebody who goes in and you check your email first thing in the day without intention, and you're checking your email and then an hour or two goes by because you're lost in answering all these insignificant emails, then chances are the day owns you and you don't own your day. So listen to this. Either we're managing our day or our day is managing us. Optimum performance and productivity is about you managing your day, you owning your day, you winning the day. But you gotta get in the game in order to win the day. So plan your day, and I'm gonna show you the ways that I plan inside of this training that will help you organize a way for you to plan your day. And it doesn't have to be complex. In fact, the more complex you make it, the more likely you are to not follow through on the plan that you devise. So I spend the last 10 minutes of my day planning and organizing on my fully engaged one sheet so that when I wake up in the morning, and here's another ninja thing, is that we're so powerful. We're so powerful. Our brain will actually go to work to find the solutions to some of the challenging issues and the priorities that we have while we sleep if we plan the night before. So don't just plan the morning of, because a lot of times that can be a big distraction too. Plan the night before. Your brain will go to work, your unconscious will go to work, and will find solutions for you so that when you wake up and you move into your day, you're ready. You got the solutions and you're ready to go. So again, plan your day. This is a big thing that all of us know that if we just do consistently is going to make an impact. Think about the times in your days that you have planned. Think about the times in the past where you did plan your day. Were you more productive or less productive? Chances are you were more productive. So it begs to ask the question of, if we know that planning is important and planning helps us become more productive, why don't we plan daily? The answer, I believe, is that we don't have a system to plug our work into, our day into. But once you have something that's simple and effective, you'll follow through more often than you won't. All right, so plan your day. That's key number 3. Key number 4 is you've got, hold on, let me see. I've got one in my head, and I also got one here. Okay, so key number 4 is you've got to manage your energy. Manage NRG. You've got to manage your energy. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, if you don't manage your energy, you know, and you're sitting there, hold on, let me see if I can, okay. Oh, anyway, I'm just checking with the light here. Anyway, so if you're not managing your energy and you're stepping into your day from a place of like low energy or you know, blah kind of energy, here's the key distinction that you want to make. And basically, this is my energy to activity model. And it's simple. Basically, here's how it goes. The more energy that you have, you'll notice that there's going to be a direct correlation with the amount of energy that you have with the level of task that you're willing to go after. So if you have important tasks, tasks that take a lot of energy, a lot of, you know, attention, a lot of focus, and you come into your day with high energy, you're going to go after those big tasks. You're going to go after those major priorities during your day because you have the energy to do them. But if you have low energy, but you have these big tasks, do you think you're going to have the energy to even want to do them? Heck no. What you're going to do is you're going to go into doing your email. You're going to go into doing the little things because you can accomplish them and feel successful and feel accomplished immediately. So you got to manage your day in the morning, and what you're going to learn in this training and what you're going to extract part of it from is having your own routine. Like, what do you do the first 30 minutes, 1 hour, 90 minutes, the first 2 hours of the day is going to determine the energy that you bring into the day, which will determine your overall level of productivity. And I know I'm giving you lots of information here, and I hope you're still with me. Stay with me, because at the end I'm going to give you the bonus that is the game changer. It's an absolute game changer. So you got to manage your energy, and whatever you do in that first 30 minutes of the day, whatever you do in that first 30 minutes, that first hour to get yourself aligned is going to determine how effective, how productive you are during that day. So for example, if you wake up and the first thing you do is think about, oh man, I don't even want to another day, and then you open your computer and then you're going to work, you know, still tired, you know, and maybe you're drinking coffee to try to, you know, spike your energy a little bit. Like, you're going to go directly into the activities that match the level of energy that you have. The more energy that you have, the more aligned you are in your day, the more likely you are to handle those larger tasks, those larger priorities. And there's a great book out there called Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. Phenomenal concepts. But basically, the concept is like, what's a big task? What's a big ugly task like a frog that you can handle first thing in the day that allows you to get more done and create a momentum? Because what most people do is the first half of the day, they'll go in and they do a bunch of small tasks, They'll focus on minnows versus focusing on whales. The whales, when you focus on them, is what's going to really, what Brendan Bouchard said, move the needle for your day. But what most people do is they come into their day, they're tired, they don't have the energy, and they focus on minnows. They focus on the tiny little insignificant things that what happens is, get this, because when you get this, it's going to change things for you. If you spent that first half of the day focused on large priorities, a lot of the minnows, a lot of those small tasks will take care of themselves naturally. You know, a lot of the emails that you think you need to respond to immediately aren't urgent and they're not important. And so when that first half of the day, focus on large priorities. And this kind of goes back to planning. But in order to focus on large priorities, you got to manage your energy. So that first 30 minutes, that first hour, what's your morning routine? What's your morning ritual? So for me, the first thing that I do when I get up, I come out here and I'm looking out at this view and I'm, you know, watching the sunrise, and I'm stretching my body. And I just start asking myself these questions like, oh my God, how productive can I be today? How much fun can I have today? Right? How many people can I positively impact today? All right, what can I create today? And I'm just sending messages to my body and to my brain to getting me aligned to the day. And then I sit in front of the window and I just have either some sort of energy drink, maybe my Spark energy drink, or I'll have a coffee and I'll just sit there and then I'll embody gratitude. I'll think about all the things I'm grateful for, all the people in my life, the space that I get to live and play in, the space of being on planet Earth. And I think about my business, how grateful I am for my business. I think for my health and my body, how grateful I am for my body. And as I'm saying this, you can probably feel yourself kind of soften. Gratitude is one of the fastest ways to create high levels of energy and alignment in our field. And so after that, I meditate for 20 minutes. I sit there, close my eyes, and just allow myself to be for 20 minutes straight. Then I journal for 20 minutes, right? And then I read for 30 minutes. And then I'll watch training videos so I can learn and upgrade my skills. Lifelong learning is something that I've chosen to take on, and I suggest it for you too. And then I watched a video vision board that I created at the beginning of the year to get me connected with key number 1, which is my vision. And by the time that's done, I'm so aligned with my day because I've already planned key number 3. I've already planned, hey, what's going on here? A little light, that helps. So I've already planned my day, so I know exactly where I'm going to be spending my time. And by the time I'm done with that morning routine, I'm managing my energy to a specific vibrational place. Man, I own the day. I'm ready to handle the day, and I don't let the day handle me. All right, so the key is to manage your energy. So we're going to go over your morning rituals, your morning routines, and how you can create a simple 30-minute routine, 45-minute routine, an hour routine, even a 15-minute routine that gets you connected to source or the creator or infinite possibilities to get you high levels of energy. And you don't even have to go through the training to kind of distill whatever your morning routine is. Just pick something that energizes you, that gets you fired up. All right? And so key number 5, and this is a big one, key number 5 is to prioritize. I know we've touched on it a little bit, so I won't spend too much time on it, but when you prioritize your day, you're basically saying that I've categorized my activities into specific areas, and I know exactly what's going to move the needle in my day. I know exactly what's going to create the most momentum, what's going to get me on that creative edge or that producer's edge that we all are striving for on a daily basis. Right? And so when you prioritize your day, you're basically saying, okay, these are the top, and okay, so here's a principle that I want to give you that relates to prioritization. 80%, it's called the Pareto principle. 80% of your activities will only produce 20% of your results. And conversely, 20% of your activities will produce 80% of your results. If you do the prioritization process in a simple, effective way, all you're doing is understanding and becoming aware of what are the things that I do on a daily basis consistently that are the top 20% that produce 80% of my results. Once you focus on those, and we're inside of the training, we're going to go through an exercise to help you get clear on what that 20% is. Once you do those consistently, and you'll create way more momentum during the day. So at the very least, you just want to have a list of 3, no more than 4 things. And Tim Ferriss, creator of the 4-Hour Work Week, he says focus on 2 big goals during the day. For me, it's 4. What are 4 priorities that I could focus on during the day that will help me get a ton done in the long run? A ton done. And so prioritization really, at its minimal basis, if you will, is just making a list. Making a quick list of 3 things, 4 things that you are going to focus on over the course of the day. And there's something very powerful when we take because you're probably somebody who knows what you need to do on a daily basis, and you say, oh, I know what it is in my head. Well, there's something about the action of taking that information out of your head and putting it on paper, and that one action crystallizes it in some way, shape, or form. Studies show that you are way more productive and you're way more likely to follow through on those priorities than you are if they're just in your head. So even if you take one thing from this training, take that and focus on your most important tasks and priorities. Over the last probably 2 years, my business has expanded in some really radical, crazy ways. And during that time, I've written 2 books. And the second book that I wrote only took 2 months because of what you're going to be learning inside of this training. Once you get in the game and play the game of productivity, you're going to be way more productive. You're going to produce more, you're going to create more, you're going to generate more income, you're going to help more people, and you're going to have that satisfaction of knowing that you own the day. You know, that you own the day and the day didn't own you. There's just some satisfaction in that. All right, so prioritize your day. All right, so are you ready for the bonus? The bonus is this. Are you somebody who procrastinates? Do you procrastinate? If you do you ever wonder why you procrastinate? You know, procrastination affects 25% of the working population. You know, a quarter of us are affected by procrastination. And if you haven't overcome procrastination yet, maybe this is why. I learned from Tim Ferriss a very important law that I'm going to teach you here in a moment that you may know about, called Parkinson's Law. And once I learned about Parkinson's Law and I started using it to my advantage, procrastination pretty much went away. And here's why we procrastinate. We procrastinate because we know intuitively, whether we're aware of it consciously or not, we know how long a task is going to take. And because we know how long that task is going to take, if we are given a task, or we give ourselves a task that only going to take 2 hours, but we give ourselves 2 days to do it, we're going to find ways to fill that time gap with insignificant activities, with things that don't matter, right? With tasks that are minnows and not whales. And we just know, and you've done this before. Maybe you've done it in college studying for tests. You wait 2 nights before and then you cram, and then you knock the test out. That's what I did. And so here's the reason why, is we intuitively know how much time a task or activity is going to take. What happens is when we get closer and closer, we start to feel that threshold coming, that time threshold coming, and then when the deadline is starting to near and we know that it's time, what do we naturally do? We naturally become crazy productive. We cut the fat, right? We eliminate all distractions, and we go to work and we handle the thing that we know that we need to do. We put on earbuds, or we do whatever it is that we got to do, and we get it done. We create magic. So what if you could actually work like that consistently, with that level of intensity, with that level of momentum, without the procrastination? Well, Parkinson's Law says that a task, and you want to write this down somewhere, a task will expand in perceived complexity, and that's the key word, perceived. A task will expand in perceived complexity and importance in proportion to the time allotted for its completion. I'll say it one more time. A task will expand in perceived complexity and importance in proportion to the time allotted for its completion. If you have a 2-hour task, but you say, okay, I need to get this done by Friday, and it's Wednesday, like, you're going to fill that time, the rest of that time. The task will seem more complex, and you'll procrastinate, and you'll avoid, and you'll find ways to not do it until you finally get to that threshold point, and then boom, you go to work, you get in the game, and you do the thing. You finish it, you complete it, and it ends up usually being pretty good work. So how do you use this to your advantage? Well, this is the bonus. This is how you use Parkinson's Law to your advantage. This is how you use procrastination to your advantage. It's simple, and I don't personally think it's that sexy, but it's effective. And it's time block your highest priorities. I'm just going to write time block. During the training, I'm going to show you an example of what one of my days looks like. And with the fully engaged one sheet that you're going to get inside of the workbook is going to show you how you take those top 3 or 4 priorities that you're focusing on during the day, and then you just simply plug it into your calendar. So when 10 a.m. hits and you have, create video for Optimum Performance and Productivity Training, when that shows up, boom, you go to work. So instead of giving yourself a priority of complete this task by the end of the week and it's Wednesday, instead of doing that, why not say, okay, it's Wednesday, I'm going to complete this task because I'm going to only give myself 2-hour window to do it. And then you plug it in, and then Another thing that we talked about is you got to eliminate the distractions. You know, what are your distractions? If there's a double bonus on here, it's eliminate. You become aware of your distractions and manage them. You can't necessarily eliminate your distractions because of the bombardment of information that's coming at us at every single moment, but you can manage your distractions. And in order to manage your distractions, you got to become aware of it. Is it Facebook? Is it your cell phone? Are you checking your cell phone every few minutes? You know, is it food? What do you use to distract yourself from the intensity of momentum, the kind of momentum that allows you to be super productive? So those are the top 5 keys. I know I've rambled on here for a good chunk of time, and hopefully you got enough out of this video for you to say, hey, I want to learn more. Like, I want to become more productive. I want to dive in and I want to get in the game with you, George. How do I do that? Well, if you scroll down, you're going to see some tips, some ideas. You can watch this video as many times as you want and take notes. The thing that I try to do with this resource page, this event page, is to utilize the video not as a way to just sell you to sign up for the program, but to give you some nuggets that you can use. So whether you sign up for it or not, you have tangible things that you can use right now. And so scroll down, look at all the information, check out the dates, check out the time. If you can't make it live, you're going to get the recording, and you have 2 options as I mentioned earlier. Get in the game, and you're going to have a couple of options to do that below. You can jump in, and for 97 bucks, you can share the event on Facebook, and that gets you in for only 97 bucks, kind of a no-brainer. Or you can, if you don't want to share it on Facebook, you're like, nah, I just want to sign up, it's $197. All right, and if you want to play with us in the VIP panel membership area, you get live access, live interaction with me on the training for 3.5 hours, depending on how long we go, and you and I will get to create together. I'll answer your questions directly. You'll get the live coaching, one-on-one coaching inside of the training, and together as a panel, we're going to create a lot of the training and a lot of the value together. So there's a few ways that you can jump in, and I invite you to step in, especially if you got at least 1 nugget from this video. Imagine how many more nuggets and how many more insights that you're going to get from inside of the training. So the first piece that we're going to attack inside of the training, the first 45 minutes, is going to be designed to go after the underlying hidden factors that keep you from being more productive. How do you view productivity now? And how can you view productivity in a way that gets you excited to be more productive? So we're going to really erase and unplug the programming that keeps you from seeing how being productive can be exciting. As you can tell, I geek out on productivity, and I love teaching this stuff, and it's why I travel the country and I spend an entire day with corporate employees and career people, salespeople, entrepreneurs, to teach them how they can be more productive. And I've taken that full day of training, I've synthesized it down into 3 hours, meat and potatoes. And by the time you leave the training, you're going to be way more productive. You're going to be way more on fire on why you want to be productive. You're going to know what your highest priorities are. You're going to have a system of integrating and planning for your day. And you're going to know how to manage your energy so that those big tasks don't seem so big. Not only that, but when you manage your energy to high energy level states, what you're going to notice is that the distractions go from monsters to puppies. They go from monsters to puppies, because when you're operating at high levels and you're on fire with your life and you're just boom, 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 boom. I don't know what all this is, but that's, you know, my version of being on fire. Once you're on fire, the distractions go from these huge things that take you off course to these little puppies. Just say, oh, hey, you know, hey, I'll go over there. I'll hang out with you in a little bit, and you just go to work. Boom. So anyway, that's enough of me rambling. Scroll down, read the information for this training, check out the tips, watch this video again, and sign up below. With the VIP panel membership, there are only 9 total spots available, so you'll want to make sure that you register for that if you want to get in the game and play with me one-on-one directly inside of the training. So that's all I got for you. Hope you got some tips, and I look forward to seeing you on the training very soon. Take good care.